Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying the 4th of July weekend. I know I have thus far. We've still got one more day until it's officially the 4th of July, Tuesday being 4th of July, when we celebrate our Independence Day, which has a lot of meaning to a lot of people. It also has a meaning that seems to be forgotten. It's getting lost. It has been getting lost over the years. And there's many reasons why. This being one of them, I'll touch on real quick. We give our heads and hearts to God and our country, one language, one flag. How many people remember that? Could you even tell me what's that come from? What was originally quoted? It was the very first Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. That's the version you're seeing in my chat or my description. I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Which is actually, they say, is the first version, but as I said, I read the original version before Bellamy version came about. That was in 1892. 1892 to 1923. I pledge allegiance to my flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 1923 to 1954. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 1954, current version. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Then, in 2002, because of the wording, one nation, under God, the Supreme Court stopped it from being recited in the schools. And from that point on, we've seen the destruction, the deception, the illusions of our country. You know, you would think they would have never made such a ruling after what happened in 9/11. How we all witnessed it, we all know what happened, we all seen what happened. We also seen how all of our differences were put aside. We came together, united as a community, as one nation, under the red, white, and blue stars and stripes of that one flag that has so much patriotic meaning and we let one ruling strip its meaning, which is allowed. Now we have schools and colleges, mainly colleges, because it was the public schools that took it out. Well, no, the flags in all schools. Actually, no. Kids are wanting to take it down because certain groups say it's offensive. There's nothing offensive about this. It's one of the most standing trademarks. When people think of Independence Day, they think of the flag. As we've seen, it's always been there, whether it was the 13 stars or whether it was the rebel flag. It's represented patriotism, independence, freedom. How is that offensive? It shouldn't be. Not even the slightest. Now, I've had some interesting discussions with people. Here's the one thing that the older generations have taken offense to, the stripping away of our history, the demoralizing. That's what it is. It's demoralizing when you say this flag that our soldiers bleed and die for, that our forefathers fought for so you could have Independence Day, freedom, liberty, justice. And you let people say it's offensive. It needs to be taken down. Well, look what's happened. They took the Pledge of Allegiance out of the school. So that was just one form of our history being stripped away. I'm lucky I grew up with the recitation of the flag, Pledge of Allegiance. I come from a family that's proud to honor both those flags you see flying there. Because they have meaning. It's something to be proud of. You know, when you become a U.S. citizen here, you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I wonder how long before they stop that saying it's offensive. Or, you know, that's we are doing, even within the communities here, the prepping community, the truth community, the truther community, the citizen journalists, we're even divided amongst ourselves. And we shouldn't be. I think maybe as you guys are sitting around your barbecues on the 4th, or as you're watching the fireworks, I mean, the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, educate your children. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. Teach them the history that's not being taught to them. There's a reason why they're rewriting our history. There's a reason why we got protests going on today. They're calling it the Summer of Rage. You guys realize that's a illusion, right? It's a deception. It's a trigger. They want this to be a summer of rage. We want it to be a summer of peace. We want it to be, of all times, you want to do something on the 4th of July weekend? No. But yes, protest is a part of our Constitution, very symbolizing of our flag. But it's being manipulated. Thus far, I haven't heard of no violence, so that's good. It's freedom of expression, freedom of speech. It's being used. Understand what you're using. You're using our Constitution. You're representing the very freedoms that we're getting ready to celebrate on Independence Day. Non-violently, peacefully. Your voices are being heard. So is the counter-protesters that are protesting you for some of the things that you're trying to protest today. Many of you wouldn't even be out there protesting if you were just simply taught your history. If you truly were patriotic and understood what patriotism means. Understand why our soldiers fight. Understand why our soldiers in the past have fought. I don't agree with war. No one does. But what they do is they honor our Constitution. They protect us so we can have these freedoms that are being taken away from us. And it just seems to be one-sided. It's not. Honestly, it's not one-sided, guys. It just seems like it, because that's the way they spin it. They want everyone divided. They don't want us united. Do I need to read the words again? Maybe I should. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What does indivisible mean? Undivided, united, together, a community. That's what it means. We need to re-educate our children. We also need to re-educate ourselves, because we're not honoring the Constitution either. When we judge people based on their religious beliefs, when we judge people based on their freedom of speech and expression. We are so quick to judge. We're so quick to take offense, to be triggered. That's not what Independence Day is about. It's not what our flag represents. It's not what this country represents. It's not what the American dream represents. You know, I can go on for hours just pointing out the political rhetoric, how they've used it to deceive you guys. But unfortunately, my voice seems to fall on deaf ears. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. You know, because truth be told, I'm an outcast in two different communities. Think about that one for a minute. Why am I an outcast in two communities? Well, because we judge people. I'm being judged. I'm being judged for giving you knowledge that one side don't want you to have. Now I'm being judged, and the other side is judging me because I have that knowledge and how I receive it. So I've been called evil. I've been called an elitist. I'm none of these things. One, I wish I was an elitist. To be honest with you, that means I'd be filthy rich, and that means I could be giving back to some of these channels that have dubbed me as such. I could be sending them out, giving them the finances they need to go cover the real truth. Oh, but no, I'm evil. I'm an elitist because I have different beliefs. But you don't know me. You judge me by a set of beliefs, and you don't even know my real beliefs. I've been shunned from both sides. Sad, but very true. Does it bother me? Sometimes. Most of the time, no. Nothing I can do about it, other than keep doing what I'm doing. Because I have a message. It's going to be heard for those that seek it, those that find it. I learned this a long time ago. You know, in fact, I'm going to do the unthinkable. For those that don't know, many of you know me by Drew. Many of you know me as Smiley. Many of you hear me state that you can find my last name on the Constitution. Yes, my forefather was John Rutledge. He's also known in South Carolina to this day as Dictator John. And when the Civil War took place, there was a division between our family. Most of our family separated, migrated north, settled in Michigan, then slowly came down to Ohio. There were still those that stayed in South Carolina and upgraded into the South throughout. What was that division? Well, obviously, civil rights. Many of my family, because of division, just much like the Civil War caused. But, we all know that the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. It did not. That is the illusion. That is the misconception. That is what they use. Just like we all know the truth. What flag was flown in the first KKK meeting? It wasn't stars and bars. We've got pictures of it, documents of it. We also know what party, when it comes to political, was involved. But you guys don't want to hear that. Because if you hear that, that's truth. It goes against what you've been taught or what you keep hearing people tell you. It's funny, I know many Black African Americans that will tell you the very same thing in their own words, in their own voice. Recite history from their own history. I would have thought that when John Rutledge decided to try to commit suicide and jump off a bridge, the last thing I would ever expected to come to his aid and save his life was 2 African slaves. You'd think that would have been a wake-up call to him, but it wasn't. He died on his deathbed, still owning a slave, where his own sisters and wife had disavowed slavery. Yes, we all got skeletons in our closet. We all got dark spots in our family histories. It's nothing to be ashamed about. We're supposed to learn from history, learn from our mistakes. We're supposed to be free thinkers and open-minded. We're supposed to honor what our forefathers created. But we get caught in conundrums. We get caught in the conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories have some truths in them, though. I'm dealing with secret organizations, the Masons, whatever terms and what you want to call them. But we only focus on the bad apples. We don't focus on what was originally stated, what was originally said. Originally it was we the people for the people. And then that got changed over time. I read you the original Pledge of Allegiance as it was written. I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Why was it written that way? Why was it said that way? I mean, personally, I like the last change of it. I have nothing wrong with it. In fact, I don't find it offensive. I don't even see why our Supreme Court would rule it because of the words, one nation under God. It was something that should have never been touched. When they did that, they started the destruction. And it started before that. You know, there's always been that element there inside our government that's wanting to take hold, take seat, to destroy, implode. Because the very idea, what we stand for, opposes every caste system. And yes, we still live in a caste system, but it opposes it. It opposes every ideology. Because it gives us freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom to believe and practice what we want, to express ourselves. It gives us liberties that protect us and these values. That, my friends, is what they do not want. I don't know how to break it all down to you, to give you every piece of information, to make you see the light of day. For some people, it will take a reality check, a big one, a major event. We've seen what major events can do. They can bring a nation to tears and at the same moment unite it. Then along comes these people that don't want the united people, and they start finding ways to divide it. They start implementing things, stripping history, stripping the Pledge of Allegiance out of our schools, allowing people to say that the flag offends us, we must take it down. Tell that to the soldiers and the Marines that were dying trying to push that flag up and hold it up. Everybody knows the image I'm talking about. Just by me talking about it will make it flash in your mind because everyone's seen it. That's what Independence Day means. Too many movements out there right now are being squashed, silenced. The original meanings have been being stripped and taken away from them. Nobody's stopping to look and see what's really going on. There's many out there trying, but then we find the differences that divide us. That's meant to divide us, so we can't come together and have conversations like this to judge. So therefore, we're not even honoring Independence Day. Well, we can't honor people's beliefs, people's liberties, people's freedoms. And that is a sad thing. We should be able to sit here and talk about anything and everything. Yes, it might get a little heated, but we shouldn't allow it to be. We should be able to find common ground to discuss these things. I know it can be done. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. I've sat across from very different people from different walks of life, all at one table, discussing things that most of us here on this platform on YouTube can't even discuss without getting called something. And that, my friends, is what they are trying to do. Because once we start talking about things, coming together as a whole, moving past people's differences, their beliefs, and start talking, communicating, truths start coming up. We start awakening. We start becoming free thinkers. You know, there's many parts of me wish I could go farther and explain it, but you won't hear it. As soon as I mention certain words, you'll just tune out and shut the video off. You can't see past the illusion that's before you. That's what it is. It's a grand illusion. And it's with everyone, every path, every belief here sees the same illusion, and it's dividing even their communities, pitting them against each other. You know, and I know sometimes some of the things I say can be over the top, because I get emotional. I start feeding off that. I want to see what's happening to come to an end. I don't want the division because we know what's coming. You know, then I get bashed by the other side for letting certain things out, trying to show you. Because, oh, you're revealing secrets. No, I'm revealing truth. To break the control mechanism. To make you masters of yourselves instead of slaves to others. And then once we reach that state, we're still got to find a way to break the remaining shackles that are binding us, because there's systems in place. But we can't do that divided. We got to find common ground. We got to be able to put our differences aside. We got to be able to trust. Mr. Anderson, I don't know if you'll watch this, but you asked, who can you trust? It's a hard question. For me, I go on instincts. I have people that come to me asking my advice on people. You know, for me, I trust the people that you trust to bring the truth. People like Dabu, Brian, Eric, whom it may be, and other people. Then they seem like they are people that are enlightened. They're awake. Not fully, but awake. Aware. They're just missing other parts because of the division that's meant to keep us divided. You know? I've been blessed in life to be able to interact with other people and get past the divisions that would normally separate us. Not everybody's that blessed to be that way and interact like that. I'm able to find common ground even when I hear stuff, when it's bashing my own beliefs. I still can find common ground and listen to them because they are bringing truth. They're educating people. You know, some of us just ask for that same respect in return. Hear what we have to say. In the prepping community, we know about being aware to our situations. My grandfather taught me at a very early age to be aware of all my surroundings, everything. Because you never know when something has a message for you. It could be that stranger walking by who just seems to be talking. He's by himself. He just seems to be, all of a sudden starts talking to himself. There could be that message might have been for you. When we start dividing, becoming divided, when we start closing our communities in and separating our communities, we stop becoming aware and we ignore that person that's walking by. We become numb to the homeless problem we have. It's programmed into us. We become desensitized to it. That way, people that live in California, they have no problem being a sanctuary city and putting more importance on illegal citizens illegal immigrants. I'm not going to use the word citizens because they're not citizens. They're illegal immigrants who came into this country illegally, committed a crime by doing so. But they want to spend millions and millions of dollars on them to fight systems to protect them. But yet they want to ignore our homeless vets in the streets, and yes, that does bother me very much. And it should bother everyone, especially as we're getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July. I see all these protests going on in California right now. Summer of rage, impeach Trump. How many of you have walked by some of the homeless in those streets while you're protesting? Paid them 9 bit of mind. Just like they're just scenery or a park bench. That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful as a human being to ignore another human life. Especially those of you that are U.S. citizens, because that's another U.S. citizen. And more than likely, that is a homeless vet that served overseas, bled, fought for the very freedoms that you're abusing in those streets right now. Unfortunately, honestly today though, it probably happened, I don't know, I didn't see nothing abused. And I'm thankful. I see people actually honoring the Constitution. Respecting it. Protesting peacefully. And I can respect that. I will respect that. I might not agree with what you're protesting about, but I respect the fact that you are. Because you're doing what's rightfully yours. Many of you have been deceived and tricked, following an illusion, but that's your right as a U.S. citizen. Most people don't question why. Most people don't understand the slogans you chant, the signs you make, or you're taught to make. Most people don't understand. Oops. Most people don't understand things we've taken such granted of, you know. I wish I could get you guys to understand. I wish I had all the answers. I don't. I'm learning. I'm learning from other people, from the truther community, from the collectors, from my own communities. I see people that are awakening, unfortunately, too slow, not fast enough. We're struggling to reach our youth. Who is our next future generation? You know, in the end, guys, we need to rethink what Independence Day means, what it should. We know what it should mean. We know what it's supposed to mean. We need to bring that patriotism back. We need to start uniting ourselves instead of dividing ourselves. Once people start seeing us uniting under a common interest or a common goal, don't have all the answers. I have some. And some of you guys have the other parts of the equation. You know, hopefully I give you guys some food for thought. My job right now is to make you think, make you question. I gotta get you questioning things. I gotta make you start thinking. Then maybe you can start understanding. Maybe some awakening will take place. Right now, that's all I can do. Keep doing the videos I'm doing, sharing the things I'm sharing. Eventually, somebody's going to stumble across it. I'm going to waken them up. They're going to see what I'm saying. They're going to reach out and wake somebody else up. Eventually, the movement will start. Right now, I don't know. Right now, maybe the other side is officially won. I don't think so. I'll never believe that. No, I'll lose breath in me. But some of you, I think, already believe that. You know, just like today, I was blessed to be involved in a conversation. It kind of made me rethink some things. New ideas. You know, sometimes when you talk, you get fresh ideas. You see things differently through fresh eyes, through other people's perspectives. I've always been the one stood back, watched, observed. I'm done watching and I'm done observing. If it means from here on out, I got to give you a head, you're going to get a heavy dose of me, so be it. I have some other plans and working. And I will implement them. You know, like I said, I'm patient. I've learned patience over the years. But I've also learned many things the hard way. I took the hard road in life. Unfortunately, that's what it took for me to wake up. But I want you guys to think and question. Ask yourself, what does Independence Day mean to you? What does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you? Ask, why was it removed? Ask why your kids don't know it. And some of you may have taught your children, and I hope you did. But I'm going to end on that note. I want you guys to think. I want you guys to remember what it means to be patriotic. What our flag stands for. What our Pledge of Allegiance should stand for to this day. I want you to remember what the Constitution stood for and does stand for this day, even though some people try to misrepresent it. I want you guys to think, question, ask questions. And I will see you on the next broadcast. Remember, we the people, for the people.